American inflation stopped declining last summer. Since then, it has accelerated by a few tenths of percent. But the significant fact is not the 0.3 acceleration, but that inflation has not decreased in the U.S. for an entire year. During this time, the U.S. economy has been slowly and steadily slowing down. The labor market is also cooling off, and the unemployment rate is rising. Accordingly, economic conditions are worsening. Inflation is not decreasing, and the Fed's rate remains at its peak level. In my view, this is not the best combination. At the beginning of the year, I mentioned that one should not rush to expect a monetary policy easing in America. By the summer of 2024, it became clear that I was right. I can give the same advice to all my readers regarding the second half of this year. In my opinion, the forecast for a rate cut in September is overly optimistic. If this assumption is correct, the Fed's rate will remain hawkish for a long time without easing. At the same time, speeches by some FOMC politicians indicate increasing nervousness within the committee. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee stated yesterday that if inflation remains at current levels over the next few months and the real economy continues to slow, the Fed should ask itself, is it worth being so restrictive? In other words, some Fed officials are beginning to question whether reducing inflation to 2 is worth the economic decline. Which goal is more important? Stable economic growth or price stability? When such questions start being voiced aloud, it is a bad sign for the American regulator. I do not think the Fed will start easing soon just because economic growth rates have slowed from 4.9 to 1.3 quarterly. However, if the slowdown continues, the Fed might decide to ease to stimulate the economy in a few months. For the American currency, this is undoubtedly not the best prospect, but this is still just an assumption with a very low probability. Nevertheless, one should not completely dismiss such a scenario. For now, it is enough to know that it is possible.